I'm just gonna pop over to
Hippity-hoppity, fuck your shit up your ass. Alright, it is 7 p.m., which means it is time for Fanfiction Contempt Theater. I realize the audience is quite empty right now, but hey, sometimes people watch these videos.
You always show up.
Anyway, today I am your host, SneakyDevil, joined today only by Atin. Or Atin, as some call him.
Max is dead.
Unfortunately, Max succumbed to southern fever and will not be joining us.
I wanted to make a pumpkin spice latte joke, but I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Alright, so today the first story we're going to be covering is this StarCraft Warcraft crossover. Did we already cover this?
Maybe? I imagine there's a decent amount of fodder for that.
No, I don't think we've covered this one specifically already.
Okay.
Hey, Isley! Yes, you are here early. In fact, you are the earliest of the hearers of the... Or actually, Zeke's beat you. But Zeke's is a silent little piece of shit, so you win.
You are just the most pleasant human being.
Anyway. Woo!
Wait.
So get your bleach ready, kids!
StarCraft meets Warcraft meets Overlord. Oh, no! Yeah. No, you leave Overlord out of this!
Indeed. Alright, so, as always, a little disclaimer beforehand, because, I don't want to, suddenly find myself with a lawyer knocking on my door.
Well, I mean, the lawyer wouldn't be knocking on your door. You'd probably be served through the mail, but...
Yeah, I would probably be served through the mail. But that's assuming I have a mailing address by the end of it all. Anyway!
Fun fact, you can't be served if you don't have a house. I mean, technically you can, but good luck serving the guy who hangs out under the I-95.
I mean, honestly, yeah, it would be kind of hard to convince any court to be like, yeah, I can sue this guy, and everyone's just like, but he doesn't have a fucking house. What are you gonna get out of him?
His dignity. He doesn't even have that left. Look at him.
Exactly. Anyway, little disclaimer, as always, do not contact any of the authors featured in here unless we specifically tell you this is allowed, because we were given permission by the author themselves. As always, we are a work of entertainment, parody, and attempting to be education. Which means jack diddly shit for everyone that isn't a lawyer.
Great way to cover our bases. Say it means nothing to people who aren't a lawyer. You are just...
Well, no, the parody and entertainment education part means nothing.
Yes, okay.
Everyone just looks at us and think, oh, these fucking assholes again.
Yes. That is how we've been greeted most of our life.
Indeed. Alright, so before we begin, let's see, Isley says, question for me, have you, or Atin, seen Yojo Senki, the Sage of Tanya the Evil? It has to do with a potential
no, that's supposed to be Saga.
Oh,
I've heard about it.
Okay.
I've put it on my list of things to watch, because I was like, what the fuck is this?
If it helps, you are more educational than most English classes. No, that doesn't help. That actually makes me depressed. So depressed that I'm gonna go drink. Water.
An atheist Japanese salary... Hold on, I'm gonna read the plot for this, Sneaky. This is from the Wikipedia article.
Yeah, we're gonna derail. I'm gonna add a derail counter to this, because that's a derail. But go ahead.
That's fine. An atheist Japanese salaryman, in the moment of being murdered, is confronted by a self-righteous entity he refers to as Being X, who condemns the man for not believing that Being X is God and sentences him to be reborn in a world that is similar to World War I Europe, with early aspects of World War II and magic, in an empire torn apart by countless wars with all nearby countries. The salaryman is reborn as a girl, Tanya Degoroshev. According to Being X, if she's not able to die a natural death or refuses to have faith in him, her soul will leave the circle and be sent to hell for the countless sins that Tanya committed in her previous life. In search for an escape, she decides to enter the Empire's mage division and fight in the war, hoping to reach a high enough rank as fast as possible to remain far from the battlefield, and in this way avoid the risk of being killed. Even if she's now forced to speak with a young girl's lisp, she soon turns into a ruthless soldier who prioritizes efficiency and her own career over anything else, even the lives of those beneath her, especially those that get on her bad side.
Okay, I sort of want to see this now.
Yeah, I know! Like, I read the summary and I was like, I kind of want to see this.
Alright, well, drop it in the Fix 9K Discord. And I'll take a look at it, and we'll queue it up, and maybe we'll see at a later date.
As you say, we'll put it in the line for when we've both had some time to do some research.
Yeah, indeed. Alright, so back to the shit. And I say shit preemptively because it's StarCraft mixed with World of Warcraft mixed with Overlord. Primarily, any story that does multi-X over tends to be shit, because writing a crossover is goddamn hard enough. Writing a triple, quadruple crossover with, like, 3 different systems of magic? Fucking kill yourself.
There's 2 systems of magic.
Okay, psionics. Come on.
Okay, hold up. Psionics get used so little, it's probably not going to come up. And if it does, it's either going to be for, like, Psystorm or Invisibility. That's not that bad.
Alright, we'll see.
I'm just saying, I understand what you're saying about psionics being magic. I'm just saying, like, when you realistically think about it, through the entirety of StarCraft and all the nonsense spin-offs, what have they really demonstrated psionics can do? They can make pretty laser swords if you have special technology. They can make you stealthy if you have special technology. They can let you push people around with your mind if you have special technology.
You know what?
Psionics probably isn't even going to be a factor.
Maybe.
Unless they just... And if they straight up drop in a ghost, it's like, oh, invisibility. Or if they drop in a Templar.
Hello!
Oh,
okay, so
magic lightning.
The hybrid overlord. The final battle with Amon has started. But it did not end how everyone thought it would, and now James Raynor and the others find themselves in a new world, and Raynor is now holding the title of Overlord. How will they survive in this new world, and what will Raynor do with his new power? Overlord, World of Warcraft, and StarCraft 2 crossover. Hybrid Overlord godlike Raynor. I think this person's got a boner for Raynor.
Alright, look, I'm fine with godlike Raynor, because let's be real, Raynor gets kind of gets shit on in the actual
Raynor does get pretty thoroughly shit on throughout the entirety of StarCraft.
Like, Raynor is the universal short stick for, like, 3 races.
I think my favorite part about his entire saga is like, alright, I served the Dominion. Confederacy. I served the Confederacy. Confederacy fucked up. Alright, fuck the Confederacy. I'm going to Marsera. Alright, I found a wife, got a kid, and they're dead because Zerg. Fucking goddamn it. Okay, I'm gonna sign up with the Dominion. And the Dominion's a bunch of dicks.
No, Sneaky. You're forgetting the best part, where he goes and becomes an outlaw. That goes south. So then he becomes a sheriff, and that goes south.
And
so
then he makes the Raynor Raiders.
Fighter.
Yeah, see, then he becomes a freedom fighter as the Raynor Raiders, and they join up with the Sons of Korhal, and they overthrow the Confederacy. Oh, and it turns out the Sons of Korhal are a bunch of dicks as well. And that gets fucked up. And his new love life also dies. Yeah. It's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, Raynor.
And then, like, a few months later, he finds out, oh, she's not dead. She's an evil Zerg.
This is somehow worse. And now she's committing genocide. Woo!
And then, he finds a way to fix her.
Yeah.
Only for his best friend to try to kill her. So he has to shoot his best friend.
And then she becomes a Zerg again.
Because she thought he died.
And then it's just like, alright, we've got this shit handled. We've killed all the bad guys. Everything's settled. No one's murdering each other. And my girlfriend just became a god. Fucking goddamn it!
Good. We've managed to bring Isley around to our point of view. You know what? Raynor needs some love.
Raynor needs some goddamn love. This guy has literally defined getting the shit stick.
Like, for crying out loud. For crying out loud. Even, oh my god, I forgot. What's the Russian guy from,
Stukov?
Even Dukov came out ahead of Raynor.
Yeah.
Dukov came out ahead of Raynor.
Yeah.
Like, out of the entire event of the StarCraft series, the one good thing to happen to him is he got to watch Kerrigan rip Mengsk into tiny pieces.
Yes. Also, that's fucking cinematic.
Oh, that was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Just all of StarCraft 2's Wings of Liberty cinematics were just... My dong can only get so erect.
Oh yeah, but I mean this one was oh my god, I can't think. Heart of the Swarm. That was the Heart of the Swarm one.
Oh yeah, that was Heart of the Swarm. The invasion of the capital was also an amazing cinematic.
Oh, that was so good.
It was so good. All right,
but
honestly, enough StarCraft wanking. Let's get into it.
Yeah. The best part is that doesn't even count as a derail.
It's not really even a derail. Topic. Technically, all of that was on topic indeed. And Zeke's is making a Korean joke.
Oh, he made that a while ago.
I know. Let's see. For those who are reading my Naruto fic, World 1, The Elemental Ghost, my OC from there will not be in this fic, so everyone who doesn't like that will be fine. No one argue about the changes I make. This is fiction. So I'm allowed to change things.
Okay. Fair enough.
As always, I'm obligated to remind everyone that as the author, you do have, in fact, free reign on everything. But just like people in the United States have freedom of speech, they do not have freedom from consequences. Neither do you, as an author.
We can argue
when you change a character to the point where they are no longer that character, people who enjoy that character will not read your work. And they will complain that that character is no longer that character. That is the consequence of changing things.
I'm here for godlike. I didn't know I wanted this until I went and thought about it. But I'm here for godlike Raynor.
Exactly. Now
I'm here for Raynor to finally have something go right.
And once again,
if you change him too much from James Raynor, because here's the thing. Out of all the people in the
if it's a steady transition, again, if it's all a steady transition, it's fine. If you show them changing, it's fine.
But I was gonna say, here's the thing. Yeah. If this diverges too much from James Raynor, I may stop reading. Because you know what? I happen to like James Raynor as a character.
Yeah.
And his... It's gonna sound weird to say this. His relentless optimism in the face of being constantly shit on.
Yeah. That is pretty funny, yes. That is a very amusing way to put it. But, that is the thing, as I always say. You know, there's three things that people come to a fanfiction story for: the plot, the characters, and the setting.
Yeah.
If you're gonna basically gut the characters, then expect people to be like, "Hey, that's not how the characters work," because they're coming here maybe for the characters, and so that's like advertising. Oh, hey, Jay-Z's gonna be at this concert. I don't fucking know what kids listen to these days. Jay-Z's gonna be at this Jake Paul's doing an appearance. And then you walk out a cardboard cutout of Jake Paul. And you have like a really shitty ventriloquist behind it saying stuff. People are gonna be like, hey, yeah, that's not Jake Paul. You know?
Yeah. And I'll say this, as far as Overlord goes, out of all the people in the world that I'm fine in the StarCraft and the Warcraft universe, ending up as someone with that level of power, James Raynor is like one of the only people on that list.
Yeah, more or less.
The other people on that list are Zeratul and Artanis.
That would be funny. Alright. Before you extol the virtues too much.
Would you trust Sarah Kerrigan with the level of power that Overlord gets?
Yeah?
You're a dangerous human being, sir.
Yeah?
Alright, just as long as we recognize that. Alright, moving on.
Yeah. When you have this many crossovers, setting matters more than characters. That is a fair enough argument. However, if you are advertising the story as a James Raynor-centric fiction, James Raynor better be real fucking done.
Like, if I say godlike Naruto, that's fine. But, you know,
Corrigan is good
Naruto needs to remain Naruto, at least on some level.
Well, I mean, see, that's the nice thing about Naruto, is you actually have a lot more wiggle room with Naruto. Because, again, you can write him growing up from a kid, because that's where the story for Naruto starts. Which, like, your characters like James Raynor and shit like that, like, he's already, like, well into his 40s when you actually get into his story. You know?
Is he? I know he's old. He can't screw up Raynor any more than Blizz already did. I wish you were wrong.
I mean... They did put him in Heroes of the Storm, so yeah, I don't think you could fuck Raynor up anymore.
Hold on. Okay, so I typed James Raynor into Google.
Uh-huh.
Here's the list of the autofill results. Number 1, James Raynor, State Farm.
Wait.
James Raynor, voice actor. James Raynor quotes. James Raynor, Hartford, Connecticut. James Raynor, State Farm, Sanford.
Why is there someone named James Raynor at State Farm that's this fucking popular?
He has 7 Google reviews in... Oh, Sneaky! He's in Orange City in Florida!
God fucking damn it.
Wow. Out of 7 reviews, he has a 5-star rating.
Well then, the more you know. Alright.
So, you know what? You should go visit him. Just give him a big old Magnum.
No.
And a cigar. And don't say anything.
No.
I know. Okay.
Alright, so before you extol any more virtues of this fiction, wait for me to finish the author's note.
No.
Anyway, this will be taking 5 years after Heart of the Swarm. So I guess we're ignoring Legacy of the Void? No, this was published in 2015. Legacy of the Void was...
Out?
Yeah, Legacy of the Void was out by then. Like, I stopped playing... I stopped playing...
Legacy of the Void came out November 10th.
Of 2015?
2015.
Okay, so there was still plenty of content out for Legacy of the Void by then in terms of, like, what's going on. So, yes, we're ignoring Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bottom line here is we're ignoring Legacy of the Void, which, fine, whatever. That, you know what? I can understand that. Legacy of the Void's pretty ignorable.
Yeah. 20 years after Arthas fused with the Lich King, so about 22 years since Archimonde killed World Tree, at the World Tree. The 5 years is me calculating the incubation for the army that Amon was creating and him reaching full power. Just because he revived doesn't mean he was at full power. Okay, so we're not ignoring Legacy of the Void, we're just adding a massive time gap between Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void, even though it was like months at best.
Yeah.
Okay, so even though Blizzard already dictated how long it took Amon to do this, we're just going to ignore that because of reasons. Hey, Chrysanthemum, you didn't miss much.
Yeah.
We're still in the author's
Sneaky,
note.
you
It's
are
a
correct.
StarCraft, Warcraft, Overlord cross. What's up?
You were just talking about Ranger's age. So he was born 2470, and he joined up. Okay, he left the Confederacy in 2499.
So around his 30s.
Yeah, because that's when he joined up with the Sons of Korhal. So in his 30s. And by the time he's running Raynor's Raiders, it's 2500. So
yeah. Damn, son.
I knew he was old. I didn't know he was that fucking old.
Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, blah blah blah. 2 years for Archimonde dying to Arthur's Ascension is me calculating the months it would take to get from Kalimdor to the Eastern Kingdom using boats and not zeppelins. And wiping
Why
out.
Would they not use a zeppelin?
I don't know. And wiping out a majority of the humans left in the Eastern Kingdoms, preparing to leave for Northrend, and then sailing and going to Northrend for the first time. Actually, we all know the timelines for this already. Again, it was a couple months.
We know this for a fact.
This is already etched into the fucking tablets of canon. Like, it's one thing to be like, okay, it's gonna, this is how long it's gonna take because I say so, but it's like, you're giving justification for changing things based on justification we've already received in canon.
Yeah.
It's just like, so why are you changing things? We already have these times. Which just means they probably didn't do the research. They probably just looked at the lore and were like, okay, it took this long, calculate. I don't know how ships work, But no, seriously, yeah. Two fucking years? Like the big fucking wow of the plague and all that shit was how quick it happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the plague took what? It spread across the entirety of the continent in what? A couple fucking months?
No, dude, weeks.
Once Arthas came back, I mean, and really got it going.
Well, I mean, again, you gotta keep in mind, this is the same thing for Amon. With how Blizzard does their villains, is they have the villain doing shit in the background before they begin. So it's like, yes. For like, in case of Amon, for literally decades, he was building up his army before he began his crusade against all living things.
Not just decade. Like, he's been doing this plan for possibly millennia?
Yeah.
But the actual army buildup had been going on for decades. Like,
and then on top of all of that, for like, with Arthur, in the case of the Cult of the Damned and Arthas, like, the Cult of the Damned, while Arthas was out doing shit, was already secretly infiltrating places, tainting preparing the tainted grain, and like, we're just waiting for the command. That's why it happened so fast, is because they already had everything in place, and Arthas is like, go, and the command goes out, they all get it, they all taint the grain.
Remember, even before Arthas said go.
I know, but what I'm saying, is when he took leadership of the Cult of the Damned, he's like, alright, put it to full throttle.
Yeah.
That's why, everything happens so quickly, is because all that time, he's traveling on ships and stuff and doing things and going places. All of his minions are going around doing the actual actions.
I was going to say, I mean, that's the thing. Arthas didn't do a ton himself. Like, all he did was...
He killed a village or two.
I don't know if it was a literal carrier pigeon, but, all he did was send off the metaphorical carrier pigeon saying fuck things up.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what else we got here. For those who remember, Illidan was approached by Kil'jaeden months after Archimonde was killed. This is true. Took time to get to the Isles of Sargeras. Also true. Attacked Maeve until Shando and Tyrande came from Kalimdor. Sailing the rest of the way to Eastern Kingdom. Starting the spell to attack the Frozen Throne. And the time it took Arthas to leave. From feeling the Frozen Throne being attacked. Fought 2 battles. Escaped Dalaran and the Alliance. Joined in Free Illidan. It took some time for him to get there. Yeah, no, yes, it took some time. It took months of time, not years of time.
Like, if it took years, the entire fucking thing would have fallen apart.
Like, don't fucking tell me that Illidan was doing a ritual that needed continued casting for literally months. No. No.
I'm just, you know what? I'm gonna call that one nonsense.
No. This chapter is a combat war chapter. Inspiration was taken from Mad Hat 886 fic Overlord Shinji.
I'm not saying that automatically it's bad, but
I understand.
I think we have yet to find a fan fiction that was like, hey, I was inspired by, you know, whoever's fucking fan fiction and been like, oh, this is perfectly fine and acceptable.
Yeah, no, more often than not, even the stories that I do find that are good, that are like, oh, I was inspired by this, more often than not, the stories that say they're inspired by blank are better than the story they were inspired by. And that doesn't fill me with hope. It's like the same thing with seeing a self-insert OC. I mean, you got great examples like Masked Up and shit like that out there that are just like, wow, this is an amazing self-insert OC. But by no means is that the norm, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Which is disappointing, honestly, because...
Well, yeah, again, we're here because we
it's self-insert OCs
to raise the bar.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, what I mean is, like, you know, self-insert OCs are by far the most original content you can do in a fanfiction. Because hear me out here. So, anyone can come up with the idea of, oh, you know, what if Naruto shot lasers out of his dick? Right. But no one will be able to write a character with your personality besides you in that world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, like, anyone can come up with an idea working with the characters already there. Only you can write you in that world. Which makes self-insert OCs very disappointing when they're bad. Because this was your chance.
Either that says either they're completely insufferable jackasses, which says terrible things about the person writing it.
Yeah. Whether it's true or not. Still says bad things about it.
You know, or like the person is completely terrible as an author and has ruined their potential.
Yeah. And you know, like as we said, fan fiction has earned its bad rap for OCs. And this is true. I mean, yeah, it's because, again, a majority of fan fiction authors don't know how to write people. Like, yeah, sure, they can write characters that already exist and already have detailed personalities and reactions and shit. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's basically monkey see, monkey do. But they don't actually know how to write people. They don't know how to write themselves. One of the key parts about writing yourself is making sure to include your own flaws. People don't like doing that. They don't like looking and seeing their flaws, which makes their character shit.
That's why you should be like us. Hate your guts. Hate every part of yourself, and you'll be able to write yourself correctly. It just requires an intense sense of depression.
Quite so, sir. Quite so. Alright, so let's get into this. Let's see. Next in this fic, the world is like this. Azeroth is the same. Overlord continent is near the Maelstrom. Whoa, Overlord continent. We already know the world map of Overlord.
I was gonna say, they show off the world map like 4 or 5 times. Filled in.
Yeah, like the Overlord. This will be using the Overlord 2 lands, and their great cataclysm that destroyed these lands was what caused the Well of Eternity to explode 10,000 years ago. Okay.
Chrysanthemum pointing out, I don't know if you cover this, pointing out that OCs based on friendships in real life can work too. And yeah,
yes,
if you have a friend who's close enough that you can write them, that's fine too. Like, but we're just saying, as a general rule, most people aren't very good at, whether it's themselves or a friend. They just aren't smart enough.
Heisley says, when I write OCs, they end up being horrible people. And that says something about you. I mean, it sort of does. People really are the best at writing what they know the most. Which is why you'll constantly see people on Tumblr, for example, come up with their super special snowflake OC that's crippled, black, and trans in the 1960s, and they're a mercenary
and killing it. I'm sorry. Wait, are you? Did that?
No.
Is that a thing?
No. Yeah. Wait. The TF2 mercenary that is crippled, black, and trans in the 1960s, and was also part of World War II. Yeah.
Does this person understand what a mercenary has to do?
I would assume no.
Okay. I'm gonna say that if for some reason this person's ever listening, I'm gonna say this as simply as possible. It's really hard to murder people if you're a fucking cripple. I don't have depth perception. I don't have depth perception. It would be really hard for me to try and shoot someone. It would also be really hard for me to try to stab someone because I don't have depth perception. Thus, I have not, nor am I likely to ever pursue a career that has the possibility of me having to use physical violence, because I'd be terrible at it.
Indeed. And, it's just, yeah. But, see, this is actually nice. This is a key thing that I see happen in crossovers a lot, where they try to merge the universe. And this is something we've talked about in earlier episodes. Is sometimes the universes merge just fine, like Ranma 1/2 and Sailor Moon, where they both take place in districts in Tokyo that exist.
I was just saying, that's the most important thing, is they both take place in districts in Tokyo that exist. They both take place in the same time.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, relatively speaking, super crazy between them that would be like, oh, we can't possibly fit these in with each other. Like,
yeah.
Ranma isn't like, oh, it's the what is it, the 1960s?
I think it was the 1980s.
Okay. Sorry, but
it was the 80s or the 90s. Because it was like brick Nokia phones and shit. So
yeah, okay. Look, that doesn't materially change my point, though.
Yeah.
One's not in the 1980s with, oh, we've got a guy who transforms into a girl when he's got water thrown on him, and oh, look over here, this group's got fucking giant Gundams running around. Like, no, it's not that.
Yeah, like I said, those two work fine. Being like, oh yeah, the Overlord lands, which are totally inhabitable in the middle of this giant fucking world-eating maelstrom that isn't there in
and
Overlord 2. Been. at minimum, I would say make it like I don't know, fucking... Make it the other side of the map or something? I don't know. Like, the problem is trying to mesh worlds that have already been explored. In Overlord 2, the world's already been explored, and in World of Warcraft, the world's already been explored. So trying to smash the two together and being like, they've never found each other because... reasons! No. 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 That and the magic system is just so wildly different. Like, the magic in Overlord is, like, ruin stone based and, like, soul connected to Tower Heart, wild shit like that. And...
Well, I was gonna say, meanwhile, you have, like, Jaina Proudmoore being like, oh, let me tap into the arcane and summon spikes of ice the size of a goddamn boat from the sky.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Most of the people in Ein Zulgon could probably do that. Well, the magic.
Yeah, Worm actually, Worm and Familiar of Zero are two fandoms that work surprisingly well with basically anything in existence. Hi, Xenon. Representatives, indeed.
It just...
Okay, yeah, that is true. The Nerubs do have different magic, that is true. Oh good, you're gonna blow up time. Does that mean I don't have to pay taxes anymore?
Does that mean we don't have to do this show anymore? Or does it mean we'll all be stuck doing this show and listening to it for eternity?
That is a good point. That is a good point.
And, you know, we've said this before, but it bears a quick repeat. You have to, when you're gonna write a crossover, consider whether or not your crossover can function well.
And this is not a quality thing either. This is literally a author resource for you in terms of, am I going to want to die trying to write this? Go ahead.
You know, if you take something like Star Wars and Star Trek, okay, those are very similar concepts. They can cross over with minimal issues that can be easily looked over. But if you go, you know what? I want to take Gundam and cross it over with Inuyasha. That's not gonna fucking work. At all.
I mean, technically speaking, it could.
Technically speaking, you can make a lot of stuff work.
Yeah, it's just... yeah.
And there's some stuff that might work better than you think it would at a first glance. Like, for instance, if you have Geralt fighting Superman. Oh, Superman wins easily. But wait, Geralt has magic, one of the only things in the universe besides glowing rocks that can kick Superman's ass.
This is true facts.
Some stuff works better than you think it would. Some things, like, say, for instance, Worm or Familiar of Zero, provided you're an intelligent author, can cross over with just about anything pretty easily. Because those universes are already set up for things like that to happen very easily.
Yeah, it's very dependent on the kind of world you're working with.
And one thing that's worth pointing out is, even though they're made by the same company, Warcraft and StarCraft do not cross over well.
Well, they can cross over well, but the key part there is scaling. It's not a problem of setting, it becomes a problem of power scaling.
Yes, but, and this is, again, that's just one of the things that I was talking about. When you consider crossovers, when you consider, will this crossover work well, is the power scaling. Because let's take a Hydralisk, shall we?
Sure, I always love the Hydralisk example.
A Hydralisk is about 1.5 human beings tall, roughly. They shoot those cute little Hydralisk spikes.
Yeah, actually, they're like 15 feet high.
No, because the best 2-scale image we have are the ones from the cutscene where they surrounded Kerrigan. That one only looked like you could stack.
Yeah, no, bro. They are 5.4 meters long and weigh around.
Okay, but that's long.
Yeah. So they're still 15 feet.
Regardless.
Yeah. They do the whole hunchback thing, which makes them smaller than they actually are.
Yes, that's right. They do the whole hunchback thing. The point being, those spines are like what? Like an arm length? Sneaky?
They're described as the equivalent of the gauze rifle bullets.
Well, that's in terms of their power, not the size of them. But yeah, okay. So it has the destructive power of an incredibly advanced gun. Now you're gonna put that against a dude in plate mail.
I mean, yeah, you also got to keep in mind that the level of power that those guns have, like, it's just like, oh, it's a powerful gun. This gun shoots like, what is it, several inch long spikes at relativistic speeds, practically.
And they usually have like depleted uranium penetrators on them.
Yeah.
And they go through power armor. And these spikes also go through power armor. If you have a bunch of guys in plate armor lined up...
Oh, here we go. 30 centimeters in length, so that's about, what, 1.5 feet?
I think. Hold on, let me get a unit converter. Because we're American and we don't know how to do that. 30 centimeters to inches. Yeah, 30 centimeters is 11.81.
Okay, so it's about a foot long. Inches. Yeah, so it's about a foot long.
It's just shy of a foot long. No, that's true. Zergs don't have magic, but they have things like infestors, and they also multiply at a rate that would make the swarm that would make the scourge tingly.
And so you gotta keep in mind that these spines are so strong that they can penetrate 2 centimeters of neosteel at 300 meters, which is fucking insane. It's stronger than the strongest sniper rifle that the Terrans have access to. Neosteel, in terms of strength, is
the point is, it's a fuck of a lot better than normal steel, which these guys, which
it's redunculent in terms of strength.
Even with magic, sure, I can fireball 20 hydras at a time if I'm Jaina Proudmoore, right? One of the strongest magic casters in the world. Not counting people who use Fel. But, great, I killed 20 of them. But look, while I was doing that, they ate a forest and the queen pooped out another 50 larvae.
Well, it's not even 50. Like, you gotta keep in mind that with StarCraft downscales itself massively for the games. And, like, the cinematics are a good example of a normal battle between Terran and Zerg. And
that's something people tend to forget. These are planetary, these are interplanetary empires. Star Wars actually does a better job than most, at least when it does space battles. Less so when it does ground battles, that's because there are basically no ground battles. But as much as I hate to give Rogue One any credit, it showed quite well what the rebellion was facing anytime it got into any kind of protracted fight. Reinforcements would be constantly showing the fuck up because this is an interplanetary empire. And the Zerg are a species built to wage war on an interplanetary scale. And they do this by showing up to a planet.
Yeah, I have the cinematic going right now.
Good.
This is rolling tide of Zerglings. Literally rolling tide of Zerglings. And just the sheer size of some of the creatures that they employ.
Look at that. That is a battle tank. And the tank is like, I need to run the fuck away.
Like, that's fractional. That's like a small Zerg army. Like, the size of the creatures that are employed in these battles.
This pulled out shot right fucking here.
Yeah.
Now, maybe if you got all of Azeroth working together, they could fight off an invasion of the Zerg. But to do that, first, you're gonna have to get all four of the factions to fucking work together.
Which, I mean, is theoretically possible considering the fact that they have, in fact, done that before.
But you'd have to do it pretty quick.
Well, Isley, yes. StarCraft was, in fact, originally a aborted Warhammer 40k game that Blizzard retained the rights to. And they just tweaked all the Warhammer stuff and rebranded it as StarCraft. And, like I said, like, the massive armies that are employed are, frankly, massive.
The massive armies are massive, yes.
Yes, it is proven that, yes, Azeroth has magic. Azeroth can muster troops. But not really, though. Like, the populations of Azeroth, I think Blizzard's actually come out and said, like, it's in the hundreds of thousands. The fucking Zerg can field that army in, like, a couple days. They can field an army equal to the population size of Azeroth itself.
And here's the problem. It's not like they'll even have time to get ready before the Zerg show, because most of Azeroth is unpopulated.
And even if it isn't unpopulated, there's still plenty of areas with low population. If those places go off the radar for even a week, that's not going to alert anyone.
Yeah, but the odds of the Zerg landing in an uninhabited area where they can do whatever the fuck they want for a couple of days is pretty good.
Yeah.
And even if they land near bumfuck city, town, village, if they steamroll it fast enough, no one's going to be able to get a warning off. And like Sneaky said, that place goes, that place doesn't send its weekly check-in. Oh, Eagles or Hawks probably got all the messenger pigeons this month. We'll send more next week.
That is true. A necromancer could raise Zerg to fight against Zerg. However, a key part of that is that necromancers can only maintain control on so many raised creatures. That's part of why they have the whole pact with the Lich King thing going on. And that showed, because when the Lich King got attacked, Arthas lost control of his army.
And then he almost got murdered.
And so, you know.
Also, relatively speaking, necromancy is not a quick thing in the Warcraft universe.
Oh yes, it's very much not a quick thing.
Like raising a basic zombie, fine, but trying to raise a hydralisk from the dead, I would say that would be, what do you think, about as much work as a gargoyle, maybe?
It would be about as much work as a fucking abomination. Like, you gotta keep in mind.
Yeah, good point, actually.
And you gotta keep in mind. Like I said on the wiki earlier, the hydralisk has over 4,000 muscles. The human has around 700. If normal raised humans at best can limp around and smack things with their arms, how much can a zombie hydralisk really do? Because, like, say we're being generous and give them half of the muscle capacity that they previously had. So it's a super weak hydralisk that's already been killed.
I was gonna say, and actually, you're forgetting one of the most important things.
They don't know hydralisk anatomy?
Well, A, yes, but B, in order to kill a hydralisk, in order to kill anything up from a zergling, essentially, they will have to chop it into pieces. You can't raise that.
That is true. An arrow's not going to do much against the armor of the Zerg.
Now, maybe if you hit it in the eye with, like, a crossbow or a well-placed arrow, yeah, you'll be able to drop that hydralisk in one. But 98% of your forces aren't going to be able to do that. You're going to lose 4-5 men to chop one hydralisk to pieces slowly.
Which obviously this author somewhat recognizes, because they did announce that the Raynor was going to be godlike. But I mean, the problem I have with this whole thing in general is that, okay, this story is thoroughly dead. You know why this story is thoroughly dead? Because the author got 76,000 words in and was like, oh shit, what the fuck do I do? Because yeah, it's a stomp, but you know how hard writing stomps actually are? Really fucking hard. Because once you stomp everything,
stomp interesting.
Yeah, but like once you stomp everything, it's like, all right, well then what the fuck do I do? The Book of Cringe. Sure. Go ahead, Xenon. Lay some cringe on us while we start this chapter finally 1 hour into the...
Oh boy.
1 hour into the stream.
Still though, very few derails, still technically on topic.
Indeed. The cycle's end and arrival. You can stomp if you make it the narrative's darkest moment. Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, but that, we never said you couldn't stomp. We're just saying you have to make the stomp interesting, otherwise it's boring, and then you lose the plot relevance, and then you go nowhere. You can do anything as long as you make it interesting. It's just some things are harder to make interesting. A nearby Yordle named Nar happened to walk by and saw the light. That means nothing to me, so I'm not cringing.
Yup.
The saddest part is that this isn't the latest start for the live stream. Yes, this is true. We have, in fact, started later than this before. A barren plain was littered with corpses from 4 different races, as well as vehicles, both human and alien. It's supposed to be laid. Laid? Would it be laid? Laid, lied. Lay? Lay wrecked? Those vehicles lay wrecked. Oh my god. Yeah, it'd be lay wrecked. on the ground as bullets, bones, bombs, flames, and energy attacks flew through the air. On one side were mutated creatures, green creatures in different types of armor, and baleful blue, purple, glowing creatures. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh boy, this is Azeroth versus the Zerg Swam. Yeah, this is true, Chrysanthemum. Yeah, the hour-and-a-half mark was our latest start. Anyway,
technically speaking, we have started.
Yes.
It's just...
These were the lesser creatures of the Zerg Swarm, the Protoss extremists known as the Tal'Darim, and the Zerg Protoss hybrids. On the other side were soldiers decked in armor and vehicles, blue-green creatures wielding energy weapons, and more of the mutated creatures, but in a wider degree of colors and forms. These were the fierce, human Terrans, the honorable Protoss warriors, and the relentless primal and current Zerg Swarm. Above them, their respective air units fought for supremacy to aid their ground forces. Okay, so it was just a really, really bad descriptor of Tal'Darim and Hybrid versus the anti-Amon forces. You know your descriptors are bad when you confuse StarCraft with Warcraft. Both sides had their respective leaders, and the first group had a creature by the name, or at least used, of Samir Duran, who appeared like a special forces soldier with bone and flesh protrusions coming off different parts of his body, and the ancient creature known as Amon, who was called the Fallen One, that appeared like his hybrids but was pitch black in color, while his eyes glowed red and was twice their size, which made him over 10 feet tall and about 5 feet wide, and was muscular and flowing with power. Amon wasn't a unit. Also, I find it highly amusing that he's claiming that hybrids are 5 feet tall. Because remember, he's double
This is someone who doesn't understand scale.
He's double the size of a hybrid at 10 feet tall.
That means, if we take this man seriously, Amon, the most powerful and deadly being in the universe, is smaller than a Hydralisk.
Yes.
Way smaller than an Ultralisk.
So, remember, like 30 minutes ago where I said I don't think the author did his research? The author didn't do his research.
To be fair, we weren't disagreeing with you.
I know.
At least I wasn't.
I'm just saying that, don't fucking eyeball lore. There's a reason why shit gets written down. And more often than not, there's a shit ton of lore that's like word of God or concept art written down, and that you would have never found out unless you had those words of God or concept art, or I don't fucking know. Use like the wiki.
There's a shit ton of stuff, like for instance, Dark Souls is nigh on impenetrable unless you go and fucking read.
Okay, so the TLDR of Heart of Legacy of the Void is Protoss be Protoss yo, and then they all good and shit, and then people that were dead came back to life, and then they found the super secret hidden planet of Ilos, and they all landed on it, and they took the conduit to... Oh wait, sorry, that's Mass Effect. And they found the super secret planet of... I don't fucking know the name of it, and they took the conduit to... another super secret planet on an interior dimension of the planet they were currently in. And
we wish we were kidding.
And then Kerrigan became a god and fought Amon, and they punched each other with laser beams, and then she won.
Kerrigan was supposed to restart the cycle?
Or something like that, yeah.
Still wish we were making this up.
The thing is that we're not saying, oh, you can't eyeball shit. We're saying don't eyeball it when it's, like, sizing and shit. Like,
you know what?
Don't look at the StarCraft game and be like, oh, yeah, these guys are, like, I don't know, 5 feet high.
We were like, hey, how tall is a Hydralisk? And I made a bullshit guess. And then, to see if I was right, we did this magical thing called Googling.
Yeah. And it turns out he was mostly right. And pretty close, actually. It's just like... It's lame. And that's what it honestly is. It's super fucking lame. Like, when it's like getting the sizes wrong on spaceships in a fandom. Because you eyeballed it instead of out fucking looking it up. And just like, that changes immensely how the spaceship would operate, what it could carry, the amount of people that could live on it, you know. The important things.
Like when we said, hey, how big is a Warhammer ship? Versus the stupid rinky-dink little pieces of shit in Mass Effect. The answer to that was...
pretty fucking big.
Oh, some of the weakest stuff in the Warcraft universe is the size of their biggest stuff. Or Warhammer, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's just... This is just disappointing. Like, Amon is literally... Like, even if you were just guessing the size of Amon, right? Would you be like, okay, all-powerful creature, literally killed every other basically godlike person in existence, more or less masterminded the Zerg, he's 10 feet high.
Seems legit.
Or maybe he's fucking enormous. You know, just throwing that out there. Yeah, so, you know, it just hurts. It just hurts. Because, like, he's already gotten sizes, and it's not even like the size of these things we're like, oh, we don't know what their size is. We do know what their size is. And the fact that they got that wrong,
like, that's the biggest problem, is how big is a Hydralisk? We don't know. So we went to the wiki and we looked it the fuck up.
Yeah, if they didn't even do that, it doesn't give me a lot of reassurance that they did a lot of effort in the other avenues of research, like Overlord and how that works. I shouldn't be questioning a story this much 3 paragraphs in. Like, I don't care that it's fan fiction. If you are writing a story and the person reading the story has to go, wait a second, you got this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this wrong. 3 paragraphs into it. Not exactly giving yourself the best kickstart. On the other side, the humans, and unofficially the whole Alliance, were led by the former Marshal, a former outlaw, and commander of Raynor's Raiders, James Raynors, who was
James Raynors.
At this point, dude, they have so many fucking commas here. On the other side, comma, the humans, comma, and unofficially the whole Alliance, comma,
Sneaky,
were led by a former Marshal, comma, former outlaw, comma, and commander of Raynor's Raiders, comma, James Raynor, comma, who is decked out in his black armor and skull visor. That is 7 fucking commas. unless you are listing 6 different things, you shouldn't need 7 commas in one sentence. At that point, cut your sentence in half. You know, on the other side, the humans who unofficially led the whole alliance were led themselves by the former marshal and outlaw / commander of Raynor's Raiders, James Raynor. Period.
But, and now here's where we're going to, you know what? We've jawed your ears off for an hour, so you're gonna get some edumacation, bitches.
Educations.
Why don't we, Sneaky, rewrite this entire shit show?
Fuck that.
Shit show.
No.
I'm just saying, this particular bit of nonsense sentences.
I just did, no. Fuck that shit.
Fine. I was gonna say make it shorter, but okay.
No, like, yeah, you can cut out a shit ton of stuff there. Or you can even start it with, you know, James Raynor, equipped in his, you know,
James
outfit
Raynor,
or whatever.
It'd be like James Raynor, leader of Raynor's Raiders, decked out, you know, in his trademark black armor and skull visor, was helping lead the battle as the humans were unofficially in charge of the entire alliance.
Yeah, something like that.
I came up with that in 20 seconds. It flows a hell of a lot better. It sounds better.
Always reread your stuff. I think, like, don't reread it right after you write it. Reread it a day later.
You gotta wait a day or two.
Have someone else look at it. You know, it's just, alongside him were 2 different types of special ops soldiers. One, this is actually a part where you wouldn't have comma, you would either put a colon or a semicolon in here, depending on how the rest of your sentence went. Yeah, reread it out loud, it's a very important part. One named Gabriel Tosh, who was, Jesus fucking Christ, comma, what? Who was a Spectre, comma, and Nova Terra. Again, you don't need commas in front of the word and.
Also, pretty sure Tosh is dead. Because, no, remember, canonically, you do not side with the Spectres. So Nova murders the shit out of him.
Oh, it's true. Canonically, you do side with Nova.
And, to be fair, that's the correct decision, because it turns out that the Spectres are a bunch of crazy fucking nutjobs. Even more so than the Ghosts.
Yeah. Blah, 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 Spectre, Nova, last name not my... And Nova Terra, parentheses, last name is not my creation, I looked it up on the official website. So you could look that shit up, but you couldn't fucking look how tall a fucking hybrid was?
For the record, the author is technically... Nova's had a lot of names. The name she's known by when she's a Dominion assassin is November Terra. Nova, so they call her Nova for short. Because apparently even they were like, shit, we can't call one of our operatives November. That's pretty stupid.
That's not her name. That is her actual name, though.
No, because remember, she was kidnapped.
No, I read the Nova book, dude. Remember?
Oh, that's right. That's right. November Annabella Terra.
Yeah, that's her name.
No, I'm saying you are correct. I was thinking of someone else who got kidnapped.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she did get kidnapped.
Yes, but I thought they changed her, that she had a different name before she was Nova.
Yeah.
Before she was kidnapped.
No. But, don't interject into the middle of your fucking story with parentheses. Be like, oh no, this is her last name. I looked up Nova's last name, but I couldn't look up how fucking tall a hybrid was. I'm fucking dumb,
Yeah.
Like, I don't normally do personal attacks against the authors, and everyone knows that. But
we've taken more than our fair share of personal attacks, but okay.
Normally
Yes.
don't go after the author.
Yes, okay.
But, like, right here, they are basically inviting themselves to be criticized personally. Like, they interjected into the middle of the story how they did the research on Nova. But then a fucking paragraph above that shit, he couldn't even get the height right on the hybrids.
Now, technically, you can make an excuse. Okay,
was the book for Nova good?
Legacy
yes.
of the Void, so fine. We can ignore Amon's height.
Well, I just the hybrids alone. Amon, I don't care what size you make Amon. My problem is that they said he's double the size of a hybrid at 10 feet, which means a hybrid is 5 feet tall.
I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be super terrified of something 10 feet tall when I've got colossi that are what?
They're like 50.
Yeah, I was going to say 50.
Yes, the Nova book is very good. I heavily enjoyed it.
I've been meaning to read the Nova book, but honestly, right now, the only StarCraft book I'm trying to finish is that goddamn Dark Templar saga.
That was a great saga, too. Highly recommend the Dark Templar saga.
If you can ever find the books for it.
Yeah. Who was a ghost and joined the Raiders. He didn't capitalize Raiders. Meant terrible, responsible for the death. Holy fucking shit, this sentence goes on for literally 5 lines.
Yep. Isn't it great?
Along for the ride was blah 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 blah. Why? Former was using a flaming Betty turret to guard the place, and the latter was using his arm pack, a backpack with arms. In parentheses. What if the Zerg swarm evolved Zerglings to look like kittens? Well, A, they wouldn't do that. B, they would just create a new organism.
Unless Abathur was like, them appearing as kittens makes the humans unwilling to shoot them. Then Abathur would totally
yeah, but he wouldn't make
kittens.
Zerglings into kittens. He would keep Zerglings and just invent a new DNA line of Zerg-based kittens.
I mean, they've been known to modify, dramatically modify them in some cases.
Yeah, but there'd be no point in getting rid of something that's highly capable of combat and replacing it with...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They could just make it look like a kitten. It'd just have to be a physical alteration.
Yes. Yes, the waist-high kitten. That's not terrifying.
Dude, people take tigers as pets. I don't want to fucking hear it.
Boy! Don't start with me!
I'm just saying, human beings are stupid.
I'll see if I can't pick up the book next time at Barnes & Noble. What's the book title? The book title for Nova is, get ready for it. It's a long one.
Nova.
They got real creative with it, I know.
Blah blah blah. Wife me and why? Like, we're 4 paragraphs in, and we're describing every single character. Like, look.
How many of these characters are going to be important?
Again, okay. This. I don't think we can make it through even any more of this. I kind of just want to move on past this point that I'm about to make. So you're advertising the story as a Raynor-centric story, and you're advertising it as Raynor and crew. Right?
Okay.
Why the fuck are you describing Raynor and crew? If you put a big fucking poster up and go, hey, Jay-Z is coming to this concert. I'm using that example again. Right? You don't have Jay-Z's picture up, though. It's just, Jay-Z is coming to the concert. Everyone sees that and goes, oh boy, it's Jay-Z, I'm gonna go see him. You're not gonna have an announcer come out before Jay-Z comes onto the stage and proceed to meticulously describe what Jay-Z looks like. Everyone who came to see Jay-Z already knows what Jay-Z looks like. Everyone here to see James Raynor already knows what James Raynor looks like. You don't need to describe him. Overlord? Sure. Describe the shit out of that. I'm pretty sure half the people who came to see James Raynor have no fucking idea what Overlord is. World of Warcraft? Less so, but still probably. It would be on the safe side to describe it. And you could even get away with describing it because it's a James Raynor-centric fic, James Raynor would need this shit described to him. But because it is a James Raynor-centric fic, you don't need to describe things like James fucking Raynor. You don't need to describe what Stetman looks like. You don't need to describe what fucking anyone that James Raynor is currently aware of looks like. And you know why? Because if you are looking for James Raynor stuff, you probably have fucking seen everything James Raynor has seen.
Not to mention, you're also just going about the descriptions in an incredibly bad and boring way, which is a sin, which is its own sin.
It's its own sin, yes. But it frustrates me the fact that the author is taking my time to describe in shitty, grammatically incorrect detail the James Raynor and crew after having advertised the story as James Raynor does thing. If I'm going to a story because I see James Raynor does thing, I better fucking know what James Raynor looks like.
I want to see James Raynor doing a thing.
Yes, nailed it, Evil Within. That is exactly what James Raynor looks like.
Do I want to know?
It's fucking Orange City, Florida. James Raynor.
Yes, indeed. Everyone knows who he is.
They do that for wrestling, though. Yes, Isley, you're right. They do it for wrestling. Wrestling's also a dramatical show.
Dramatical show, eh?
Yes.
Sneaky's terrible word choices aside, yes, wrestling is a highly dramatized event. That's why.
They ham it up, they play it up, etc., etc.
When I'm reading book fucking 6 of the Wheel of Time, I'm no longer getting descriptions of any of the main fucking characters.
Exactly.
You know, when you're reading book 4 of Aragon, they're not like, oh, Aragon is, you know, so tall with rainbow colored
blue fucking
hair.
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so it just, when you pick a cast of characters to view the world through, don't describe that cast of characters unless it's this is the difference between original and fan fiction. When you're picking a cast of characters to describe the world through in fan fiction, don't describe the cast of characters. It's usually assumed that if someone's reading the story for the cast of characters,
every fucking Naruto story opens up telling us about his goddamn orange jumpsuit.
Indeed, yes, indeed. Fucking every goddamn Naruto story makes a point to talk about Naruto picking up his jumpsuits, and it's just like, we know.
God damn it, we know who the fuck Naruto is.
Wheel of Time is a fashion story. Okay, Zeeks. Have I ever read fanfiction before? They always either want to ham it up or be overly serious or emo. While mildly true, that doesn't give you an excuse for bad writing. And that's exactly what this is. Describing things that people should already know to the people that should already know them poorly.
As you say, the most important part here is poorly. Poorly is what's offensive to us.
Unless it's the one where I sent you guys that Naruto wears an edgy black cloak. Well, considering the fact that that's like pretty much every fucking Naruto story ever where Naruto doesn't wear his classic outfit, it's some variant of edgy black cloak. Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. If you're doing a Naruto story, and for whatever reason, Naruto isn't wearing his normal stuff, fine.
Cerulean,
describe
indeed.
that.
Yeah, but no, Isley, you don't understand. His eyes are a deep ocean sapphire blue that
my God,
sparkle in the night.
You couldn't even do it, could you?
No. I couldn't go through it. But anyway, you know, this is my point. It's just blah blah blah, uneasy alliance, kill, adapt, survive, blah blah blah, Stukov, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, they're shooting things, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. It's just fucking, oh, they're still shooting things, oh, they've killed Durin. Oh, you bet, brother. Darn, I always like that. My shit is broken. Blah blah blah, more dialogue, more dialogue, more dialogue, more dialogue, more dialogue, more dialogue, more dialogue.
Sneaky, you're broken!
More dialogue. That's because there's more fucking dialogue in what's supposed to be an action-packed opener hook to a story that I'm supposed to read. More dialogue, more dialogue, more dialogue.
Still more dialogue!
It just keeps going, and going, and going, and going, and going, and going. What the fuck's going on here? What's my potential? Okay, I think this is the part where we inject Kerrigan into Raynor. You are.
I'm sorry, what?
You are the individual that the Xel'Naga created to fight the Fallen One. You have the body of a human, the heart of a Protoss, and the adaptability of the Zerg. Now you must awaken all three and unite everyone to destroy Amon.
Sadly, the author isn't making that. That's just Blizzard being shit.
The more I think about it, fanfiction is pretty fucking weird. Yes, honestly.
The longer you read, the more you'll fucking hate its guts.
Oh, are we talking about Shneeshne?
I'll leave.
Evil Within's the one that mentioned it.
And I will leave. I don't care who it is.
Yell at him. He's the one who brought up Shneeshne.
Stop it. Just stop saying it. We're done.
Alright, so blah blah blah. I'm going to awaken your psionic powers and turn us all into energy and channel it into you and give you Zerg and Protoss DNA to turn you into a hybrid.
Hold on, she already has Zerg DNA.
They're injecting Raynor with this.
What? Why?
Because he is the creature that the Xel'Naga created to fight the Fallen One.
Okay, so they're just...
In addition, I am giving you my Templar and Dark Templar powers.
He doesn't have Templar powers.
No, this is Tassadar saying it.
Oh, Tassadar. Does Tassadar have Dark Templar powers?
Apparently he absorbed them from the Dark Templar matriarch before she died officially. According to the author. Not just not canon. The energy was channeled into Raynor, and he's screaming in pain. He turned into a multi-dimensional rainbow. Amon felt spooked. A new figure was standing there. It had armored legs and boots that were black with his armor fused to his legs. His torso was covered in carapace.
Okay, look, people
armor.
say this a lot. His armor had fused to his legs. Okay, do you understand that this is powered armor, and it would be impossible for him to move then?
Yeah, I know,
because
right?
Because if it's fused to his legs, that means everything inside of it is fused solid. You're trying to make servos work with melted flesh in them.
Which only works if it's powered by chaos.
So unless you're gonna put chaos in here too, which I'm okay with chaos, Raynor. You know what? I'm gonna see if anyone's drawn chaos Raynor yet, Sneaky.
Evil Within, to answer your question, Shni is an ongoing joke on my part from back when we were reading a lot of Ruby fiction, and I found out that Shni means snow, and at one point there is this place called the Shni Plains, which literally translates to the snow plains. And there is there's also a snow
Shni for like.
There is also a snow mountain.
I am incredibly disappointed. Sneaky, I am incredibly disappointed. There is no Chaos Marine Raynor.
That is actually fairly disappointing. Is this One Piece? No, this is Ruby. You know, the show by Rooster Teeth. With little girls in it.
You should watch the subs.
Lots of Yuri.
Okay, hold on. There's no confirmed Yuri. Confirmed Yuri. Was what I'm gonna say.
Anyway. Blah, 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 blah. His armor was fused to his legs. Torso was covered in carapace, but had the insignias of the Raider, Swarm, and Protoss, as well as the hybrid emblem etched onto him.
Boy, that's a lot of fucking emblems. It's getting kind of crowded on there.
His left arm was blue, and the right one was green, and the hands had a thumb and 3 fingers and were clawed. The wrists held side blades, of course they did, and one was white and the other was black.
That is not how that works. Also, I want to point out, side blades require very special technology to produce. Even Artanis needs special technology to make side blades.
Yes. Shh. Blah 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 blah. Side blades. Oh yes, here we go. His back had bone-like wings, and one glowed purple. And one purple glowing phantom. Okay, so wait, sorry. His back had a bone-like wing, and another glowing phantom purple wing, with bone-like protrusions coming out of his back. And torso and arms were super muscular and athletic, and he had tentacles like Kerrigan's hair. And his face was what shocked everyone. His face was gruff and
dick butt. I was waiting. I knew my moment would come.
Lots of incest and bestiality if the fandom is to be believed. There's no yellow blade. This is racism. Oh my god, Isley.
Boy, we have such classy viewers,
No,
eh?
clearly, they needed to give him rainbow side blades.
Of course. Gotta show your support, otherwise you're not an ally.
Indeed. Anyway. Blah blah blah, blah blah, blah blah. His face was gruff and weathered with a goatee and a beard and one eye glowing blue and one eye glowing yellow. And it was... Wait, sorry. Wait, what? With one eye glowing blue and one eye glowing yellow with green, blue, yellow, purple, and red lines going through its face and making his eyes glow brighter.
What?
Jesus fucking Christ. Is this how Gary stews are made behind the scenes? They just take power and they shove it into a person and then they're like, oh man, this person's ugly. I gotta sculpt them like a donut.
So I know you butchered the pronunciation of Adonis, but all I could hear was a donut.
I mean, I'm not wrong. Kerrigan was like, oh my god, Jim, you're so hot.
No. Oh god, please no.
Yes, I'm alright, Kerrigan. Tassadar just woke up some repressed genes in my body. It seems like you're too slow.
I'm sorry, I need you to say that again.
Tassadar woke up repressed genes in my body.
I'm about to start drinking to repress these memories.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Kill me.
Oh my god! And just think, I skipped 90% of the story to get to this point.
That is not making me happy.
Some repressed genes. There's a gay joke in there. He turned to Amon and teleported behind him. Nothing personal, kid.
Personal, kid. Omae wa shinderu. Insert more random Japanese babbling.
I've awakened like my ancestors wanted me to. Now it's time you pay for your sins. Raynor shot forward and teleported behind Amon.
Wait, are you fucking serious? He's actually... Oh, God. I hadn't read that far yet. I hoped you were kidding about him actually teleporting behind him.
I was kidding. He teleported in front of him and punched him.
So much better!
All of you, this is gonna get nasty. Go back to the ships. We aren't leaving without you. I wasn't asking. I am ordering it under my authority as a Templar Executor, a Dark Templar Patriarch, a Zel Naga Commander to go to your ships.
Okay, look. I don't think... Okay, A, Raynor would try to tell his friends to go back to the ship. That is true. Then they'd ignore him and he'd be like, thanks guys, glad I have such great friends. Puff his cigar, and then proceed to punch Amon in the face.
Yes. Isley says, I'm waiting for this to go full Japan, and either have tentacles appear, or to start talking about his Nakama.
Don't fucking encourage them, Isley.
Oh boy, blah blah blah. He stopped a psionic attack in its tracks with a hand motion, and they met again and were clashing like heavyweight champions. He stood in motion back to the ship. I'm not leaving him, said Kerrigan. I'm not either, but we have to do what he asks.
No, you don't!
Give them
That
hell,
is...
Jim.
Not doing what people have asked is, like, one of the most common... Not doing as he's asked people to do is one of the things that happens most commonly to James Raynor.
This is
right
true
up
fact.
there with his girlfriend getting murdered.
This is also true fact. Hi, Calvin. Yeah, this story has been a significant amount of blah, blah, blah. Fucking kill us. You're weak and pathetic because the human blood inside you, blah, 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 blah. It's all over. You've already lost, but I still win by killing all of you. This form I've created, it's going to implode and you'll never get away. Wah ha ha ha, wah ha 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 ha. And then he exploded and they all didn't get away.
The end. Hooray.
Blah blah blah, unknown location, you are between the worlds, you've committed a great service, you've died along with him. This has caused the rulers of this area to give you a new chance at life in a new world.
Don't think that's how that works, but okay.
So that's how we're doing this. Alright! World full of conflict, blah blah blah, technology is not advanced, they have their own form of psionic energy. He's calling magic psionics. Fucking called it!
I hoped you were wrong.
Yeah, hi Calvin. We're currently talking about a StarCraft Warcraft Overlord crossover that is making everyone here contemplate suicide.
Contemplate? You mean move up the schedule for?
We need to play Looney Tunes music during these fanfics. I'll look into it.
That is licensed to hell and back, and there is no way we would get away with that.
Yeah, that's the part. So it's a Friday. Yeah, it's a Friday. Welcome, welcome to our suffering.
A particularly bad Friday.
Blah 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 blah. What would we be changed? You would take on the powers and skills, but you would remain as you are. You would be in a different position. Should you accept this offer, you will become a ruler of a unique continent, conquest the world. Jim smirked, I'm gonna totally do it. Can't sit back while people are suffering. I'll stand by you forever, Jim. I'll sex the shit out of you. You're not getting rid of me. I'll sex the shit out of you as well. Stukov says, I'll come with you. Zeratul says,
Stukov wants to get in on the sexing action. He's got that claw arm for a reason.
Tosh says, I'll be with you forever, bro. No homo.
What? What? Tosh would... Did they play Wings of Liberty?
No.
Like, Tosh is not friendly. Tosh is not nice. Tosh would be like, I'll hang you out to dry if it's convenient for me.
Jesus fucking Christ. Nova wants to get his D. Swan's like, totes some goats, more schematics. Stetman's like, yeah man, I'm gonna do some experiments. Ariel wants to fuck James Raynor as well. Dahaka says, totes my goats, I'm gonna go kill some bitches. Why are all the main characters of StarCraft fucking here? Zagra goes, totes my goats, I follow Kerrigan.
What?
Erados says, even though I'm a Dragoon... Oh, sorry. While out of his Dragoon, says, I'll stand with you, I'll stand by you, James Raynor. Mira says, I want to fuck Raynor. Isha is dead because she was connected to the Leviathan. Why is that in parentheses?
I don't know, maybe it was an author's note they forgot to take out?
Swan doesn't want the D. This is heresy. It shouldn't surprise anyone. Ariel wants to fuck Jim. After all, Kirk fucks everybody. Yeah, this is true enough.
See, I want you to be wrong, but...
Oh, I'll stand by you as well. Everyone turned shocked to see Phoenix standing there. It is I, friend Raynor. I will serve you in this new world. Another voice rang out. I will join you as well. Everyone turned and were super shocked by the Dark Templar female, Razalgal, joining them. As Phoenix stands here, I too swear my loyalty to you, James Raynor.
Okay, great.
And she nodded, and they took stock of their forces. Is everybody fucking here in the After Limbo world?
The After Limbo world.
Ariel was the doctor who was like, I want to save these people, and then they all turned into zombies, and she's like, fuck.
Shit, that didn't work out.
And then so they went to a new world, and all those people turned into zombies, and she's like, God fucking damn it, can my people stop turning into zombies?
No, the universe has determined you will always turn people into zombies.
And so they took stock of their forces, which was 40 Marines, 30 Zealots, and 60 Zerglings. He had 13 commanders.
Boy, for such an epic and titanic battle, those are very even numbers.
Not only that, those are very small numbers for several battleships of troops. Fucking anime. He had 13 commanders, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Farewell, my friends, I will see you in many, many years. They all looked around, this is not good, where do we go? Out of the pit came a small creature, chanting, Master, Master, we found the Master. You Master, you follow Giblet. I guess we follow them. Wait, so James Raynor is still this super pumped Zerg Protoss human
hybrid thing.
Hybrid emo edge MacGuffin thing. Okay. Welcome home, Overlord, blah blah blah. Okay, also, I hoped you liked everything. And I hope you really enjoyed the Matrix moment between Dern and Raynor. Yes, Raynor is going to fuck all the women. No, I will not be writing lemons. Yes, Raynor will get stronger.
You've made him pretty strong already, Gov.
Okay, give your opinions on what new powers you want to give him. Yes, he will be able to transfer powers to others later on. Everyone is able to say, this is how you don't write a story. Hey everyone, leave a review or PM me about which factions you want him to ally to. What powers you want him to have. Hey everyone, I have no fucking idea what I'm writing. Give me ideas because you guys have any idea how to write a story. Look, I'm not saying people who are reading a story don't know how to write one in themselves, but typically speaking, the average reader knows jack shit about stringing a coherent story together. As we all saw from White Sheep by Coral Aran. But anyway, blah blah blah. Raynor will not be doing the Overlord 2 campaign before meeting Azeroth. No, he won't be going to any of the continents. Yes, he will be fighting Illidan, Kel'Thuzad, Lich King, and Deathwing. Yes, he will be godlike. Note, I will be calling gnomes halflings.
Get the fuck out.
Because there are already gnomes in Overlord. Okay, well, you can just make them call them both gnomes, and then people are like, oh no, that's not gnomes, these are gnomes. It's called Lost in Translation. It's a thing. White Sheep is a Ruby story by Cora Alaran in which he more or less goes to the form that he has set up for his works, and people give him suggestions on what he should write happen next. And he did that for a couple chapters, and the story
and was like, "This is fucking stupid, and you're fucking stupid."
The story was just absolutely garbage for a couple chapters because it was going nowhere. It was doing nothing. It made no sense. And in one of the more recent chapters, he was like, "Yeah, I gotta stop doing that because this story has completely derailed from what I was trying to make it." Yeah. I was just explaining it to everyone else, Len Isley.
Yeah.
I'm
just like, I have nothing to say. I'm just like, this is just fucking stupid.
Oh my god. As for levels, because this is World of Warcraft, last I knew, the cap was 100. That makes Raynor 80, Kerrigan Zeratul 65, Razgal 60, and everyone else around 45 to 55, and all the standard units are level 30. Thrall and all leaders are at level 100. James Raynor took on a god and killed him in solo combat.
And he's not, that doesn't merit level 100.
And for some fuck all reason, you're telling me Thrall is 20, quote, levels stronger than Raynor. This is why, unless you are writing an RPG, you do not pay attention to the level system or any other RPG statistics at all.
Ever. In
fanfiction or original fiction. Yeah, and like Zeke says, it's WoW. If you're gonna use levels, anyone not at max level might as well not be a character in the story.
Because, oh look, I can fight. No, you can't. You're 20 levels below Jaina.
Yeah, faction leaders are raid bosses, but Isley, the thing here is that these are all game mechanics, and do not put game mechanics into a non-game mechanic story. And the important part about the game mechanics and grading people on a level scale is anyone level 60 isn't going to do damage to someone level 80. Period.
You literally can't do anything to them.
But Thrall would still fucking die if a Marine shot him in the face. which would make the level system mean nothing, because gun.
I am level 80. My melee attack does 200,000 damage a second. Bang!
Yeah. No, this is why game mechanics do not go into a non-game mechanic-based fanfiction.
And when you're mixing stories, you definitely don't pay attention to mechanics.
Yes, that is something that Sal did amazingly well. That is true. Sal had a great... This is one of the things that Log Horizon fucking failed at, but Sal did well. They had a good handle on how the level system interacts in a semi-real world scenario.
Sal did a decent job of it, but much like everything else about SAO Abridged did it way better. Yeah, it turns out my numbers are so high, you can literally do nothing to me.
And once again, I always recommend SAO Abridged. Everyone should go watch it. It's fucking great. It's literally SAO, but done correctly and abridged, so it's hilarious as well. No, yes, everyone in Log Horizon was max level, but the thing there is not everyone was max level in the world. Mike Ross is a Ravenclaw. I don't even know what's going on anymore in this chat. Yes, yeah, that's our point though. Is they handled it well. Made it in 3 episodes in Log Horizon. It's a bad sign. And I've made it further into the abridged version. Yeah. Log Horizon was okay. They did everything better than SAO in terms of like characters and coherent plot.
My problem with Log Horizon was they ended it. Like, I was expecting this to go on for multiple seasons about them setting up, these immortal adventurers and setting them up and making their nations and how they deal with other people and things like selling this crazy good food,
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, we're out. What?
Yeah.
I was like, no, don't. I was going to say, unlike SAO, where you're like, oh, I want them to get out, I want them to escape. It's like, oh, no, I really don't want them to leave. Everything's pretty much better for them here. They're immortal, they have piles of money. If in the case of some super special people, you have literal goddamn griffins to fly you around. If you get super lucky, you get some weird, creepy RP nerd to swear loyalty to you.
That was adorable.
It was funny.
There was romance in Sal?
That depends. Does eyeball licking count as romance?
I mean, to some people. In Log Horizon, there was the ninja character who was role-playing as the main character's servant or whatever. Ninja servant.
Yeah, like sworn ninja servant.
And so, like, she was like, well, fuck. Might as well just stay in character.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? This is easier for me.
Alright, Calvin. Peace out.
See ya.
Yeah, Asuna was an incredibly inconsistent character. Yeah, okay, wait. It gets worse. Gnarl, Overlord Shinji, new Overlord arises. The minions change to serve the master better. I will leave Gnarl and Giblet as they are, role-wise, but not form. Yes, you can vote on the races of the minions. You can choose for them to be any race from Warcraft, Starcraft, or Overlord. No, the point of minions is that they are minions. They are a unique life form created through magic.
But they're not smart enough to understand that.
No, they're not.
They were unique people with unique backstories. You know, that was one of the things that I thought was cool. I was like, oh, all the people who made their special little NPCs and put backstories into them, oh, that actually defines the characters. Cool.
I'm tempted to look that quote up, Zeke, just to see if you're not kidding. But at the same time, I don't want to look that quote up just in case you're not kidding. I guess this will forever be Schrodinger's quote.
We need you to be wrong.
No, Isley, not the anime Overlord, Overlord, the American game. These are minions down here. This is the Overlord we're crossing over with.
Yeah, that was my fault. I brought up the wrong Overlord. I see that quote. It needs to be wrong. I need it to be wrong. But
I'm not going to look it up. I want it to be forever hypothetical.
I'm going to have to ask you, just drop a link. No one else will be able to see the link but me and Sneaky, and I'll verify if this is real or not.
Alright.
It will kill part of my soul, but I'll find out. Anyway, it's 8 o'clock.
Yes,
my soul is dead.
I'm going to leave everyone just viewing this. Not gonna read it. Just feast your eyes upon this. And this will be our leaving.
End the stream.
Our
End
salute.
End the stream now.
Farewell. Oh.
I won't even care your life a bit. You'll regret it. We're still live.
Oh, I know.
I know.
I know.
You know.
Everyone just breathe it in. Remember, kids, when I end this podcast with the phrase, remember, there's always more and it always gets worse,
we're damn serious.
There is always more. And it will always get worse.
So much worse.
And now that you have feasted feasted your eyes on such a fantastic specimen of excellence when it comes to convincing someone to commit suicide. This is the part where I put up the curtains and I say farewell. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We actually made it to the 2-hour mark, which is impressive because normally we either go over that. Yeah, pretty much we just go over that. This has been Sneaky Devil, joined by Atin. We hope you all enjoyed Fanfiction Contempt Theater number 74. If you want to catch us live for more episodes, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or GMT-6, we are here every Tuesday and every Friday, unless otherwise noticed. And we will be doing more of this. Not this specifically.
God, it hurts our souls so much.
But more of this in general. Tell your friends. Don't tell your family. Spread it on the internet. Let everyone know about this show. It only gets better the more people that see this.
Because then you're all suffering.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So as always, folks, as I have so readily shown you, there is always more, and it always gets worse.